Alright, so as with every time I play Destiny, I have to immediately start off playing Warlock. The Warlock was the first class that I played in Destiny, and really it's kind of the one that I've predominantly played throughout all of the games, so this is just the one we're going to kind of default to. Already it looks pretty fantastic, actually. It's running fairly smoothly. There's a bit of a grain to it, though, and I can't tell if that's intentional or not.
Is a practical joke. Well, it kills me to say it, but I would be really impressed.
Impressing you, Cade, is the easiest thing I'll do all day.
Let's get serious, people.
Zavala, this is my serious face. Can't you tell?
Ikora, what have you got?
Someone or something has sabotaged the Skyline defense systems.
And comms have been spotty for the last few hours. Every sensor beyond the wall has gone dark.
Maybe it's just the storm. Maybe it's... What are the set feeds telling us?
Nothing.
Well, that's good, right?
No. I mean, they're not there. There are no satellites.
And that's not good.
Battle stations! Everyone with me, now!
Hang on!
Generally, I don't like to talk through cutscenes a whole lot, but I just want to say that the color popping in this is actually a lot better than the version on the PlayStation Center for some reason. And I don't quite know why. Just everything looks a little bit nicer. And that could just be the difference between just the innate resolution rendering in a PlayStation not being as good, but either which way, I'm just kind of taken aback by this. It's the subtle differences. Oh. I didn't realize I was even moused out of the screen at first, and then it notified me. Look at that.
Repeat, tower approach. This is City Hawk 723. Anyone home? No response on any channels. Even the emergency.
You can see the details a lot clearer, and the texturing a lot clearer in this game, like the PC version, than you can on the PlayStation version. Everything in the PlayStation version has a slight fuzz to it, and that's a little less desirable. I mean, it makes sense, especially if you're using just a standard PlayStation. If you're using one of the PS4 Pros, is it, I think? Those ones would probably have a little bit more going for them, but I doubt that it makes any sizable difference. It might just be confirmation bias. I could just be making all of this up, to be honest. I don't really know. Who knows? I might just be hallucinating all of this. Alright. Ooh, that is immediately noticeable, though. The 60 FPS is incredibly, incredibly immediately noticeable. Okay, so tab is actually how you get into Ghost. There we go. How do we get into our... Okay, different character? Okay, so it is actually just going through escape. I was curious how the PC controls would work on this, but they certainly seem to be actually fairly normal. Also, hello there, Charlie. This is, I did like the auto rifle when I was using it. So you right click to get into these, which is not what I expected, but definitely okay. I did like this when I was playing with it last time, though. I did keep it fairly standard, however. I kind of discussed before when I was talking about Destiny 1 and the differences between it and Destiny 2 was the fact that there's now default shaders for your guns, so there's going to be shaders for guns that didn't used to exist. There's damage modifiers and alterations that you can get for your weapons, and infusions can maintain as they were in the past, where you can combine things to make them stronger. For the most part, those are small new additions, legendary shards, whatever those are going to be. And the changing of energy weapons, kinetic weapons, and power weapons to be slightly different from what they were. I did like the grenade launcher. The 60 FPS is almost jarring. Having played Destiny 1 as much as I have, this is an interesting change for sure. It's not bad. It's just, it feels very different. And again, that's not necessarily a negative. If what I remember I said before in the previous version of this, when I did the PS4 version, you can change the type of clothing that you have now. That didn't used to exist either. So now you have mobility and health recovery, and then there's other such variants from therein. I do remember I enjoyed having resilience and HP because I prefer to kind of wade into attacks a little bit more, which isn't necessarily the thing you do as a Warlock character. Tend to be a little bit squishier, so there's that. Voidwalker is back. Dawnblade is the current flavor of the month one. And then we have our new Ghost. Doesn't actually tell us what its mods are. Oh, hold on. Okay, that's actually kind of interesting. If you take a hold of it with the mouse, you actually have the ability to spin it, which is just a really silly little quality of life thing, but I happen to very much enjoy that. That's kind of just a neat little feature. That's just kind of cute. Can we do that with our character? You can do that with your character as well. So that's kind of nice, I guess. Settings. Oh man, they actually this is so strange. It's so weird. It's so weird that Destiny now has sensitivity, and I almost, like, I don't know what to do. It's, oh, you know what I should do is I should actually change this up from borderless window, because that's not working great. What we want to do is go to windowed full screen. Can I change that, please? That's not what I want. Okay, there we go. Thank God. So for the entirety of the beginning there, I actually had a slight bit of my window overlapping onto another window, because this game starts out a little bit weird sometimes, and that's fine. Okay, you can change reticle color. Okay, these are options that did not exist on the PS4 version. These are all just small, silly little things that, oh, that's going to be great. FPS display. I kind of want to run the FPS display, but I also am afraid of, like, showing my ass on stream here. The fact that you can choose your reticle color is definitely interesting. Helmet is always on. Oh. You can only have it always on, currently. More than 8,000 VRAM. You got a 1000 series. Yes, I have a 1080 in my computer. I'm running a 1080. Background opacity is medium. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. Alright, so we are running 60. 60 is up there. I don't usually like to have those things clogging up the screen, but I figured I might as well run that for now. All of this is fairly standard. I don't think I'm going to really do much in terms of the customizing with this right now. We might turn up that field of view a little bit, though. That should be fine. You know what? We could actually maybe bump these things up a little bit. Let's go for it. Let's just put it on high for now, assuming that it's not going to be using up a ton of our resources. We'll just run it on high. I should probably do a system test to see if I can run it on the highest settings, but that doesn't really matter for me right now. Oh, but this looks gorgeous. Destiny 2 looked gorgeous on the... Oh god, fuck. Yeah, it is a purple reticule. Holy shit, I'm so happy. That's so fucking cool. That's such a stupid little feature that just makes me incredibly pleased. But holy shit, this environment. If you go back and you look at what this looks like in the Destiny 2 video that I did for the story and the strike mission that they had for us in the demo the first time around on the PS4, it doesn't look anything near this beautiful. This is actually gorgeous. The fire textures, the particle effects, the lighting, the reflection mapping on the gun. This is all actually just really nice to look at, visually speaking. It handles really well. The mouse has a fairly good speed to it just by default without having to modify. It's not too high, it's not too low. I'm used to playing it on the controller, so I'm used to actually a fairly low swing around rate on the reticule. So for me, this actually is kind of good. Getting out of there, it looks a little bit more bland in here. Textures are a little bit not as impressive as back there, which is clearly meant to be part of the test to see whether or not people's computers can handle that sort of thing. But even in this environment, it's still fairly nice. Also, Charlie, since you're watching, can you tell me about how the audio quality is myself and the actual game itself? There isn't really... You know what? Let's go take a look at that fire. You were saying you didn't really notice any artifacting. Let's go take a look at this. You're obviously going to be seeing a little bit less than a stellar viewpoint because you're getting a 1080... Not 1080. You're getting a 1280 by 720 image and then Twitch compression on top of it. And I'm glad that the audio seems good. I don't want it to be overshadowing me, but I don't want to be overshadowing it too hard, and I changed my setup a lot. So yeah, that fire texture is not bad. It's not the best in and around here, but, you know, from like a step back, that's really where it matters, because you're really not supposed to be shoving your head into it. Over there, like the heat that's resonating off of it, that looks really good, though when you aim down, that looks pretty solid too, actually. And I know I said it before in the previous version too, but Destiny 2 has some really nice backgrounds, even if we know that they're just more or less JPEGs, or probably PNGs nowadays, to be honest. But the quality of that first area is definitely breathtaking. It's very lovely to look at. The reflection mapping on the floor there, holy shit. That's really good, actually. That's pretty impressive. The way the light is going through the distorted glass and bending slightly is pretty impressive. This whole thing looks so much better, feels so much tighter. It plays so well on PC, and that's not a knock on it on the console version. I'm still going to play the console version. But the console version has nothing on this.
Cade. Hey, you two.
Oh, hey, shit, forgot about this. Oh, fuck, that looks good.
Me? I've got a date with whoever's behind this. It'll be a short date.
Okay, so the supers apparently look pretty good so far, too. And there's that guy on the motorcycle outside, so I hope that that's not going to be making too much of a racket.
Over here, Warlock. My armory is open.
Alright, here's one of the characters I want to actually see in this version. So I want to look at the fur texturing on his character model. Let's look at your weapon. Fur texturing, fairly standard. It's not too amazing, but it's not the worst that I've seen either. It's pretty good. Alright. Okay, Risk Runner. Is there a better way to open up? Oh, fuck, you can. You can just press I to go into your inventory. This is the greatest. I hate games that are ports, so to speak, and have some awkward-ass button input that you have to press. But nope, this one just lets you press I to go into it. It's truly a PC game now. We can do it, boys. We can make Destiny a PC game. Alright, this game had some interesting particle effects going on with it, with this gun. So let's take a look at that. Alright, looks pretty good. Blizzard did the port for the most part, eh? Blizzard, I think they said they actually, like, they only used it, like, as a base, more or less, and they made an almost entirely separate game for it, which is why it can run, like, uncapped frame rate and, do like 4K res. And I actually can support 4K, and I can support, you know, higher than 60 if I really want to. I might just need to overclock a little bit, but I probably won't even need to do that. But we've been running a fairly consistent 60 so far, I think. I haven't really been looking up in the corner, but, you know, that's because it's incredibly tiny. It's hard to tell anyway. Alright, we're going to take a second here and appreciate the water effects that are going on the screen right now. I made a point of talking about this in the PS4 version. The PS4 version's water effects on the glass actually looked amazing. And it doesn't fail to, you know, do its job in this either. It's still showing up as a very good water texture. It's not as good on the ground because you can see it's clearly just like a texture mapping that's disappearing there. But it's good. It's nice. I know that it's not a great thing to judge a game solely based on the graphics, but Destiny 1 was kind of subpar in a lot of those ways. Like, it always looked nice, but it was never beautiful, and I think it was being held back a lot by the, you know, mid-era release for the PlayStation 4. God, just the smoothness of this versus how it ran on the PlayStation. Like, I thought the PlayStation version ran fantastically, and it was wonderful, but this is a whole different game. It feels entirely different to be playing it. I might need to up the mouse sensitivity, though, because now that I'm actually playing it with a mouse, it is kind of noticeable that it's a bit slow. When you have aim assist, you don't really notice that. Oh, hello. You know what? Now's the time. We start figuring this shit out. What are my buttons? Okay, swap guns with those. Nothing on the bottom? Alright, I might have to map my abilities to the stuff on the bottom of my mouse. Because I don't know what they are. Okay, so Q is grenade. I might swap that to 4, to be honest. What is... We're gonna actually go in and look at these. We're gonna go into the settings. You can also press F5 to get into them. We're gonna go into key mapping. We're gonna see what our... Oh, your abilities are the up, down, left, right keys now. That's interesting. Alt-tilde is a weird push to talk, though. That's strange. Still running the hex programmable mouse? Yeah, I want to start running a 12-button one soon, but they're about $160 Canadian, and that's not gonna fly right now. So that's fire. Melee is C. What the fuck? That's not great, to be honest. Reloads are, that makes sense, but typically in Destiny, you don't really need to worry about reloading. You just reload on the fly. Light attack, heavy attack, that's gotta be for melee weapons. Block, yeah, okay, so melee is C. Block is C, that's kind of fucked. Jump is space, that makes sense. Hold sprint is... Toggle sprint is shift? Yeah. Toggle crouch is control. Class ability is V. Okay, we are gonna totally fucking turn these into buttons on my mouse here. You know what? I probably should have seen if that was anything else throughout here, but I really don't think that it is. I really don't think that it's going to be anything else. So, class ability is going to be 6. Wait, class ability. Oh, wait, melee is also actually just in and of itself its own thing. Oh, shit, I just realized I don't necessarily have all the buttons that I could map to that, then. What is E? Is anything E? Shit, interact is E. Fuck. You know what? I think I'm gonna make my class ability Q. Grenade is going to be 5. Super is going to be 6. And melee is actually going to be 4. The bindings are a little bit weird, but at the same time, this is a strange secondary... Not secondary, I just read your text when saying that. It would be nice if there was secondary mappings as well. Yes. as I was going to say, it is a weird way to transition over, though, is we used to just have a controller for everything, and now you have keys, so you have way more versatility and flexibility. So we do have vehicle operation still. This is all fine. I just wonder if it saves automatically the different settings that I just put in. Alright, there we go. Let's test this. Alright, that's melee. So then that would be grenade, and that would be super. Alright, that's fine. Class ability. Alright, there we go. That's good. I like this setup now. See, with a controller, that really isn't a problem. You just kind of adapt to most of these things being on certain buttons. But with keys, it's way better that you can actually just implement them on your own way. Speaking of time to use a grenade. I also should probably go in and change my character around because I just realized I'm not using the setup that I actually like with the solar subclass. So we're actually going to do that again. Oh, what a fun and entertaining look at this is going to be. It's going to be mostly settings and alteration there. Open character, we're actually going to go in through here. We're going to take the Firebolt Grenade because I like that. We're going to keep the Healing Rift. We want Balanced Glide because that's the one I actually like. You know what? Hold on. We're actually going to take a second here and appreciate the artwork here. Because that artwork actually looks way better in this version than it does in the PlayStation version. Which, again, it was just a little bit more blurry. And I don't know if that's because of the fact that the PlayStation just inherently runs at, like, not as good of a resolution as a computer does. Or if it's just me being a bit prissy. But either way, everything in the PlayStation version, although beautiful, is still very blurred at times. It seems they've addressed concerns about grenade recharge rate because they seem to be going at least a little bit faster, but again, that could be confirmation bias. Really not a fan of that. Okay, throw that in. Alright.
You're not just assaulting the city. Look at the Traveler.
I just realized that these subtitles aren't on by default either, so I'm going to have to go in and turn on subtitles, but that's not really important right now. But I will do it. We're actually going to go in and turn up look sensitivity a little bit. We just turned it up a lot, but that doesn't really matter. Sound. Why would it be in sound? Accessibility is probably in there, right? Yes. Enabled. It doesn't say anything. It does say language-based default. I guess that's the default for that. But enabled on the PlayStation allows for... Yep, okay, there it is. Everything.
What do you got?
It's fairly hard to make everything look as good as this with hardware that isn't as good, though. Exactly. That's kind of the point that I'm making, is the PC version is obviously going to be visually superior, and it's going to play a lot nicer. I'm not going to chastise somebody for playing the PlayStation version, though, because I know that not everybody has gaming computers. Rachel doesn't have a gaming computer, so she's going to be getting Destiny for the PlayStation 4. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. Is that guy's person? Oh, I thought his name was Bed of Chaos, but it's only Blade of Chaos. That's a little disappointing. It's a loud game. But Rachel only has a PS4, really, so inevitably I'm going to have to play this with her, but, you know, I'm also going to be getting it on PC, because the PC version is just much nicer. These people are going to hate me, because I'm going to be taking my time to actually enjoy looking around the environment and just observing the way that everything is interacting. You'll definitely get the PC version. Yeah, totally feel free to come and play with me on the PC version. I'm going to be bringing over the clan that I had on the PS4 that never really went anywhere. And I would love to have the ability to actually play raids and do things with people, because the fact that I never really got the opportunity to do that with Destiny 1. I only really rushed a few of the raids and never actually got all of them done. And then the newer versions of it came out, and nobody was around to play those with me either. So I missed a pivotal experience point in Destiny. And it wasn't to say that I didn't have fun along the way, it was just that it evidently was missing features that other people got to experience. And I kind of did enjoy the raids when I ran them the few times that I did. And so with Destiny 2, 1 having kind of matchmaking so that way you can have people finally drop into your raid groups and stuff like that, that's amazing. But also just, you know, the wide berth of people that it's going to allow access to play who couldn't play it because of restriction to consoles is going to be wonderful. And it turns out that, you know, Blizzard is really good at their optimization abilities, because I found out that this game can run on a 660. And to put that in context, the 660 was the thing I was running before I upgraded. So it's a fairly outdated graphics card. And I just find that that's a little bit impressive. Like, this game obviously would look a lot different on a 660. But still, like, it's kind of just the experience rather than just the beauty. Like, Destiny is a wonderful loot game. And I understand that it's more or less just a loot game. And a lot of people play it as a loot game, and that's fine. But for me, it was always just kind of like a really fun teamwork simulator, or if you're really good at playing on your own, a way to kind of like test your own skills in different situations and how you can play. Granted, it is a very redundant game. After you finish the story, after you finish all the, you know, really pivotal moments in the game, it's just replaying levels. And I think that that's fine, because people play action RPGs like Diablo every season, even though it's more or less just running the same sort of thing. And the same can be said for Path of Exile, where you just run maps after you complete the end game. It all just depends on the outlook that you have on it. A lot of people are trying to pin Destiny as a reskin, so to speak. They're trying to say Destiny 2 is a reskin of Destiny 1, and don't seem to really understand how sequels work. But yeah, the ability to run this on 660 is fucking amazing. And if we can ever manage to build Rachel a computer, the 660 would be what's going in it, and we would probably grab her this too. But we're not looking forward to that anytime soon, because we're just trying to get all of her shit paid off.
I'm going to look for him.
Yeah, grinding for gear is fine. Like, I totally understand when people don't want to do it. But at the same time, if people are, you know, into that sort of gameplay, then why not? I don't like Borderlands, for instance. I really hate Borderlands. But I love Destiny. And Destiny, to me, is Borderlands done right, almost. And just to point out, this guy is still cleaning from when he was here in Destiny 1. It's kind of adorable, almost. They still haven't quite fixed the audio on that, but that's fine. That guy, I think, was supposed to die, but I don't know.
No mercy in me.
She'll find the speaker. We need to move on that command ship. Now head to the north
Hey, guys.
tower. I'm sending Commander Holiday to pick you
Ooh.
up.
The up-down sensitivity is a lot higher than the left-right sensitivity. And that's just a little bit jarring. But it really doesn't matter. It's just a small thing. Saving up this super so that way we can... You know what? Let's actually... Let's use the super once we get past here, and we can use it on the boss. Man, just the way everything looks in this is fantastic. I don't usually gush about video games, but I do have a bit of a sentimental attachment to Destiny, which is incredibly rare for me. I never really get attached to games, but Destiny was a game that I spent a lot of hours playing, and although it did get redundant and it did get boring kind of near the end, there was a lot of times where I was just kind of in like a shitty mood after dealing with a lot of stuff to do with my college being inept. And I would just come home and I would play video games with Rachel, and that was nice. And so, Destiny 2, I'm hoping will have sort of a similar connotation for me. And we're gonna fly in there as a man on fire wielding a sword, because that's fucking badass, and we're gonna incinerate all of these losers. Holy shit, that actually destroyed them.
Someone told me you need a ride.
And the super is actually ticking up a little bit faster, I think, than it was in the PlayStation version. Which means they might have taken our advice and actually fixed the super meter. Oh, hey, look at that. We're seeing the little dips. Down to 12, down to 30. Ooh! 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 That's not good.
That guardian you never
Ooh! This isn't good.
about.
Bugging out! It's bugging out! It ran so well, and now it's bugging out at the cutscene.
Hold on back there.
Holy shit. What the fuck is happening? That's like 30 minutes, no problem, and then suddenly, big problem. Interesting how it reads 30 through the stuttering, though. That is true, it is interesting. What the fuck is happening? Are we good now? Nope. So, despite the smoothness that the cutscenes have, I guess the cutscenes are locked 30. And that's not necessarily a problem.
All right, guardian.
A lot of cutscenes are locked 30. It really only matters if the gameplay is 60. Because 30 is closer to 24, which is, like, the cinematic quality. But what the fuck was that just happened? Holy shit. Like, what the actual fuck? I just hit my mic. I'm incredibly sorry about that. My mic is in a new location. And here's the area that I was talking about with all the rain textures that I thought was pretty badass. Okay, so Destiny 1 problem so far. Not Destiny 1 problem, Destiny 2 problem so far. What the fuck was that frame rate just now? Excuse me? Wait, will this kill me? I have to know. I have to know. I have to know. Will this kill me? Holy shit, it killed me. That's super good. Okay. Okay, the spawn-in looked really nice too, actually. Overall, this is good. It's just that fucking scene just now that was awful. We're just gonna wait for this. Alright, so anywhere there seems to be like an impressive amount of lighting texture, that's where they seem to really draw focus right now with the areas that have a lot of high detail, you know, mapping of reflections and particle effects and lighting. Anywhere where it's bright, that seems to be where the focus is drawn more or less for this now. But that's not a complaint, because it shows us what they can do. I'm just afraid that a lot of areas are going to be like empty corridors. I doubt that that's going to be how it is, though, but it's just a fear I have with video games.
Okay, the shield generator should be at the bottom of the ship.
Oh yeah, the controls for this feel way nicer than the PS4 version. I'm just gonna throw this out there. Let them deal with that. Alright, palm me out this. Well, fuck me. Okay, sure, we're just gonna kill you then. That's how we're gonna handle that. I'm not used to playing this one with the controls of the controller, so I'm not used to jumping and everything with the spacebar yet. It's a little bit jarring to try and relearn all of the controls, but I'm sure it will feel fine later on. Everything does feel a little bit slow, and I don't know why that is.
King, what What's your status?
Like, compared to the PlayStation version, everything feels a little bit slow. But I think that could be because the world is moving in 60 FPS. The actual person that you're playing as feels heavier in a world that moves faster than you're used to. Oh shit, this area looks nice. Holy shit. We're still rocking 60 too. And here's my concern. My concern is that their in-game 60 might actually just be a fake. But we've seen that it went down, but it still didn't like to go down very far past 30. And when it did was during a loading area, which is where I would anticipate that. I suppose we'll see in the end. Man, just like the difference between this area in the PlayStation version and the difference in the PC version is so strange and jarring to me. Just the way that the lights pop and the way that the colors are, and just everything is so minor. It's such minor things that you don't really have to worry about with a game, but they make such a difference when you look at them all together. Did that melee attack just not have audio? Because that was super weird. I feel like he just glitched out a little bit there, but that's probably okay. Yes, hello. Oh, Jesus. I didn't even notice the guy that was following me. That's swift of me. I need to remember that I have my abilities, but I suffer from that too good to use syndrome, man. I have freaking powers and I don't do anything with them. Now would have been the time to have buffed myself with the one that increases damage, but... Or did it maybe do that on its own? Sometimes they switch. I felt like I was doing more damage there, but that doesn't seem like it would be a reasonable thing to do. Let's take a look at that. I feel like that must have just been me imagining it. Yeah, that was just actually me imagining it. Either which way, that doesn't matter. Alright, well I'm glad somebody saw him jump other than me. That was a bit strange. Nope, we're not gonna get sniped out like that. Alright, so you can still slide. Which is good. I don't know why I wasn't experimenting with that before, but we're going to experiment with that now. Alright, jump, jet, land, sprint, slide, jump, jet. Alright, that's good. That's good. It actually all feels really good. It feels really solid. Backpacks are explosive, which is always nice. I feel like we're going to come back to saying how nice the fire looks, but again, it only really looks good at a distance. But that's really where it's supposed to be enjoyed. It's not supposed to be enjoyed right up close. Except in this instance, I guess. Alright. Almost to the end of the story level, and then we're going to check out the Strag. Ooh, hello. Remember that you're there now. I remember that you're there now. I feel like this will take me a while to learn how to operate on the mouse and the keyboard, but once I get the hang of it, it's going to be really nice. I just worry that maybe my click-clacking will get heard, because my mic is right in front of my keyboard now. I also might want to swap melee and grenade, because I seem to be using grenade way more than melee. Okay. So we're gonna do this. Okay, that was less effective than I anticipated it would be, but he's dead. So all in all, it worked out the same. I was wondering how this room is going to look on the PlayStation versus PC. And so far, this room also looks a lot better.
Yes, just like that.
Alright. This is a gravity well, if I remember right, so I don't think I can actually fly properly here. Or I can, never mind, I just lied. Wow. Alright. Or if one of these is gonna take care of it. It did! Look at that!
It's working.
Oh, will that still kill me if it smacks me? Yeah, sure. Alright. Oh, I didn't actually properly disable it yet. Alright, that's cool. Oh! That's electrifying me. Yeah, that might be less good. Wow. That just actually bounced right out. Shit.
Zavala, we did it.
Let me out.
Shields are down.
Okay. Okay. Okay, we're coming back down. And we're gonna get out now.
We're headed topside. Amanda! Anyone?
Oh, I guess that was an end tunnel then. How quick the memory fails. Also, yeah, we're getting locked 30 FPS cutscenes, so I guess they're going for the cinematic approach for cutscenes, but they're going for the gameplay approach for game.
Welcome to a world.
Which is fine, to be honest.
Light.
I like 60 FPS cutscenes, but sometimes they look a little bit fucked up.
Guardian, something's wrong.
Yeah, he just ripped the light right out of us. Cutscenes still look way better, so even if they're not in 60, that's fine.
Look at me, creature. You are weak, undisciplined, coward.
Yeah, see, if it was stuttering, like, I played Nier Automata, and the Nier Automata cutscenes were locked 30, but they looked like shit because they were locked 30. And another problem was they used the in-game assets, and being locked 30 in-game assets with stuttering is kind of not okay. But this one just genuinely looks fine, so I'm not gonna complain. As long as it can keep like a constant frame rate and match pace, we're good.
And your light is mine.
I'm still slightly bothered by the grain effect I see around Destiny there, but eh. Even use the whole cinematic widescreen view. Yeah. See, part of me hates cinematic widescreen view, but another part of me, like, really appreciates it. And there we go, right back seamlessly into 60, so I guess it's actually just fine. Like, that's good. First impressions of the PC version is that it plays absolutely better. Oh wait, am I... Oh my god, it's always on talk. Holy shit, those guys were probably hearing me the whole time when I was talking. That's fucking terrible. Okay, so, let's run down the tally, because I was just about to say great things about this game. Runs great. Looks beautiful. For some reason it dropped down to 30. That's a little bit strange. But who cares? But yeah, as I was saying, it looks great. It runs great. The particle effects, the lighting, the reflection mapping, everything looks fine, except for that one cutscene problem that we had. Even the cutscenes were fine. This I don't like, though, starting you off with, like, talk on there. Like, I thought this had push to talk. If it's like setting to always on, we need to take a look at that. Oh hey, I can see the people that are on BNet though. That's pretty neat. And we can go to different destinations from here. Okay, that's really good. That's really good. What about that? Oh, wow. It's actually just like the same sort of setup that they have. This is really similar to the PlayStation setup. I thought it was bound to Alt, you know, plus tilt. Yeah, so did I, but it's lighting up there, unless it's just registering me. Yeah, Alt tilt is also really dumb, but we're going to ignore that. We're going to go and check that first. Yeah. Voice chat on, push to talk disabled. Who the fuck decided to set that way? What the fuck? Push to talk enabled, for sure. Like, actually, what the fuck? I'm not against it, but at the same time, like, I don't want to be in a thing and hearing some guy sit there and be like, yeah, Jeremy. Yeah, Jeremy, shoot him. Shoot him, Jeremy. Shoot him. No, Jeremy, what are you doing? No, don't use your super now. And he's yelling at some guy in his Discord. This isn't as bad as the Lawbringer situation where they forcibly put me in a Discord call. But, like, I don't like the idea of it just being automatically on voice chat. I'm gonna hear some guy sitting there, you know, listening to his kid brother. That's no fun. It should always be pushed to talk by default. That is correct. But outside of that, everything is fine with this game so far. Like, it's back to 60 as well, which is a really silly thing. But the story mode seems to be good. Like, they've actually added more story, and I kind of covered that in the previous one where I blabbed about it. But generally speaking, this seems to be a dramatic upgrade from the PlayStation version, and that's kind of what I really wanted to test. So, really, like, I guess I have to give them props on this one. Blizzard did a really good job. And if it wasn't Blizzard, whatever arm of Activision made this,